Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Good
Welcome
evening.
to Fluff Chick Productions. Today we have the honor of interviewing author Christman, author of the Mixed Magic Saga. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here with us today.
I don't see. Okay, so I'm on. Hang on a second. I'm on Restream, so I don't see the chat that's on
You should
YouTube.
see it
Okay, got it.
on the side.
Got it. All right,
Yeah,
got it.
where it says
Oh, I
chat,
see
then you
it.
go from there. Got it?
There we go. Like I said, it's been a while since I did Restream. Thank you for teaching this technomancer how to do this properly. I don't have my grandson here to help me.
I'm glad that you brought up technomancer because one of my questions actually was, do you consider yourself a technomancer? And
Yes.
for those who don't know what a technomancer is, can you please explain what a technomancer is?
Okay, my definition is going to be slightly different than what you might see on Google search. Is a technomancer, from my standpoint, for my books and me, is someone who is technically advanced scientifically, but can also use magic like a wizard. So they use magic, cast spells like a wizard does, but because of the price that costs you when you use magic, a technomancer prefers to use science when he can. If that makes any kind of sense.
Mm, does.
I think technomancers in the game world is slightly different, but mine's more of a wizard who's a scientific genius.
In that you
In
are.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I'm getting old, so I don't know about the genius part on my end. But yeah, in the books, he's a pretty smart guy.
Mm-hmm. And how did for a few for what we, I've known you for a while now. You explain how you got yourself writing, into the writing.
Yeah, that's a good question, Connie. Yeah, I've known Connie for years and years from another uh, live stream chat. But anyway, I got into writing. I decided to start writing a book in 2019. I got remarried in Vegas. There was an authors convention going on at the time, and I had gone just as a reader. I was just a reader at that point. I moderate for a couple of authors. But when I got back home, I told my wife, I said, I've got to write a story. I've got a book in me. I've got to see if I can sit down and actually write a book. And that's pretty much how it got started. I wrote one book for myself, which will never get published. And then I decided I said, well, that's not too bad. Let me see if I can write an urban fantasy science fiction book that's readable. And yeah, that's how it happened. I wrote about 10 or 12 chapters. I let a couple friends read it and they went, oh my gosh, that's not bad. Maybe you should publish that.
I'm glad that you published your work.
Same
I
here.
actually had a lot of fun reading it. Ah, just to, well, I guess I'll let you explain what the story is about, what the Mixed Magic Saga is about. And I'll preface that by saying, first of all, book one, it has a very strong message. And the message is words are power
Mm-hmm.
and words are powerful. And what would you say would be the message of book two and the message of book three and the message overall that
Wow.
you really wanted to get to
Mm-hmm.
everybody?
That's a really tough one, but that's a good point. I mean, actually, I'm going to quote from the first book. It starts out, there's no such thing as a painless lesson. They just don't exist. And then further on, it says, words have power. Truth matters. Some words are more powerful than other, but the truth always matters. And Zardoz, my character, my wizard, he never lies, ever. A lot of rumors out there about what he does, but he never lies. And the first book, let's start with that one first, because I started out, I was only going to write, well, shoot, maybe I can write one book. And by the time I got towards the end, it was like my friend Orlando was saying, well, you got to write a series because you can't sell just one book. So I'm like, oh, well, crap. All right, well, I'll do a trilogy. And that's how the trilogy got done. But the first book, I've had the plot. I actually have a handwritten note somewhere that I wrote the plot down back in 1979.
Whoa.
Yeah. At the time, I was living in just north of Philadelphia in New Jersey, and that's when 3 Mile Island was going on. And we were right downwind of 3 Mile Island. And then at the same time, the China Syndrome movie came out with Michael Douglas and I think Jane Fonda about the nuclear reactor and an earthquake in California. So I put those two ideas together and I just wrote down the plot. What would happen if somebody decided to take over a nuclear power plant? How much damage could they actually do to the countryside? And as we've seen from Chernobyl and the one that went up in Japan, clearly a nuclear reactor going, the core melting down just south of Kansas City would not be a good thing for America. And that's pretty much the plot of the first book, is a bunch of paramilitary guys who are against nuclear power for some ungodly reason. The main bad guy is kind of a little twisted in the head, but he's got a touch of magic. But he hires all these mercenaries and they take over the nuclear reactor that's just south of Kansas City. And they've got it. They've got all the safeguards out. So when the Army and the FBI can't fix it, they call in Zardoz because he has a little bit of magic and a little bit of scientific knowledge. And he calls in some friends and they come in and save the day, shall we say.
I really like Zardoz as a character. He's a very likable guy. I like how he talks to women.
Thank you.
I like that he talks to his cat. He's just.
I was going to bring up the cat.
Yeah, you have to fall in love with a character to keep reading through a book, you know. And right away, I like Zardoz.
Well, thank you. That I've accomplished something then. But yeah, Zardoz, he treats women have power. You treat women with respect. All women. Women are powerful. I was raised by a single mom, and women are tough, tougher than I am.
Yeah, we definitely do have a unique way.
Yeah, he calls in his friend, an earth witch from England. And so she comes over because he lives in the Midwest, obviously. He lives just north of Kansas City, interestingly enough. But he lives in the secret underground nuclear bunker that was abandoned by the military, is where his secret lab is. Anyway, he calls in the English witch to help him. And then he puts in a call to a Chinese mage called Fashi.
That's my number one. I was like, Fashi. I fell in love with Fashi.
And I actually named him that before the guy did the COVID thing. So there's no tie into the Dr. Fashi from COVID.
Right.
Trust me. No, Fashi is an ancient Chinese name. And actually, I don't think it's revealed until book 3 how he got to be as old as he is. Because he served, and I can't remember what their names were, but he served these 2 ancient kings in China about 2,000 years ago. And they sent him on the quest to these 3 white islands that nobody could ever get to. And if you get to the 3 white islands, then you can get this magic potion that lets you live forever. So there's a little spoiler of where Fashi comes from.
I felt like with the introduction of Fashi, the whole book comes to life. In the beginning of the book, I guess it's sort of backwards to do it, but the only criticism I would have had about the first book, which is what I've read so far, is just that I feel like there's a lot more description than there is action for many pages. But all of a sudden you get to like page 75 and everything starts moving quickly and it all starts moving together. And I feel like around 75, I think, is where Fashi was introduced.
Right.
And right away, all of a sudden, I was a part of the story.
Okay.
And I really started loving it. But you have some great characters. And
that's good feedback. Thank you.
What are your inspirations for your characters? What inspired Zardoz? What inspired Fashi? And what inspired Talam?
Oh my gosh. And you're right about the book dragging a little bit in the beginning. Like I said, it was my first book, and I have almost rewritten like you said, the first 70 pages to get the reader more involved in getting that hook. There's not quite enough of a hook in the beginning. Like I said, the action doesn't really pick up. As far as where the characters came from, Zardoz has been around since the early 2000s. When I was in college, I had to go back to college in 2000 I got a work injury and had to go back to college. Anyway, in college, I got my computer degree, and there was when I created the persona of Zardoz for my YouTube channel is where it came from. So me personally, I have been Zardoz online since 2006. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah, I always knew you that's how I knew you as Zardoz in Dino's channel.
Yeah, it's like when I first was interviewed by Dino, he was calling me Zardoz, and I'm like, no, that's my online name, but that's not my real name. And as far as the other characters, it's like where do your characters come from, Chris? You've written, but you're a writer.
I guess I would say that they're all a part of you, but maybe different aspects of you or different parts of yourself that you want to explore that you don't have the ability to in everyday life.
Yeah. Now, out of curiosity, let me ask you: do you write romance or cozy romance or mysteries or sci-fi?
I wrote just general fiction. Okay. And I've also written a self-help book, and I also helped co-author a biography. But
okay, cool.
I mean, I really don't talk about writing for myself anymore.
I forgot to ask you before we started, and I was just curious. But yeah, characters the characters in my book are, oh my gosh. Well, Gracie, of course, is my cat. She's outside. Yeah. She started out as a kitten in the first book, and by the third book, she's full grown. Anyway, it's funny because I was telling Connie earlier, I had to wipe my browser cache because everything had crashed because I hadn't cleaned it up and done the normal smart computer guy thing you're supposed to do. And then I just lost my train of thought. Where was I going? Well,
I guess I would say that's the limitation of a technomancer, right? Everything can crash.
Yeah. When it crashes, it's like, oh, I got to enter all those passwords again. The English with Talama is...
Talama. I kept wondering how to say that.
Yeah, Talama. That's how you say it, Talama. Yeah, and it's an ancient name. I don't remember the exact history of where it came from. I've got a British advisor who advises me on everything British because my witch is British. So she helps me out a lot with all the witchery kind of stuff. As far as Fashi goes, that's just pure research. I mean, research to find out where the background of that character, because you have to build the background for the character to make it real. Otherwise, it's just, hey, it's just some Chinese guy, that pops in.
Yeah, the research is definitely key on anything you write.
Yeah, and let me talk about the cover for just a second, because Deranged Doctor Design did the cover. They take all the credit for it, but the cover tells the story. It's got all three of the magic users. It's got the two main characters there, and then it's got Fashi over top of it. And the cover tells the entire story right there. That's a good example of a good cover for a book right there. Would you agree with that, Chris?
I think it's an amazing cover. It's definitely better than any of the covers I used, and
I wouldn't even try. Yeah.
I loved it.
But yeah, covers should tell a story. That's as a reader, that's how I always was. I would pick up a book by the cover. Oh, Vicky's here. Let's see.
Yeah, hi, Vicky.
I have a question.
Sure, go
In
for it.
Mixed Magic, you emphasize the number 3. There are 3 cards drawn, 3 earthquakes. There are 3 main magic users, Zardoz, Fashi, and Talama.
Yes.
Is the use of 3 related to the 3 life-altering experiences that you mentioned in previous interviews?
Yes. 3 is very important. Very important. 7 for me personally is more important. But yeah, 3 because it's the 3. It takes 3. And even really, I mean, it's not connected to religion. I'm not Catholic or Protestant or anything like that. But they talk about the Holy Trinity. And so there's your 3 there. 3 is mentioned pretty much throughout history as a gathering magical number, I think.
It's the pyramids.
The pyramid.
3.
Yeah. I'm from the generation that, pyramid power, where we used to meditate under a giant pyramid back in the 77, 78. Yeah, I kind of explored that for a while. Hey,
I'm a huge believer in meditation, and that's one thing I found so interesting about this book. I don't know if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
but I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and one thing about Dungeons and Dragons is, like, you have your wizard, or you can play a cleric. And I learned right away the cleric is way more powerful than the wizard.
Yep.
The cleric can use magic like a wizard, but it also has like a mace or some powerful melee weapon. And it can call upon a spirit or some kind of ancient god or goddess to give them power. And so I was like, whoa, the cleric is the way to go. But the cool part about your book is you have your earth witch, you have the ancient immortal, who is almost like some sort of a monk who has a great deal of power. And then you have the technomancer, who's so futuristic and can use everything around him to make, things work for him.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's a really good description of what I pretty much wanted to lay out. Well, thank you very much. That's an awesome
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm a geek. I'm definitely a nerd. You can tell by my board games behind me.
Yeah. Well, I am too. If you could look around now, I've got plenty of geekdom. Oh shoot, Misty just put her tail on my stream. Sorry about that. Misty, knock it off.
There's the one the second book.
I did something. I don't know how Misty did it with her tail, and I don't. Oh, damn it, cat. Sorry, guys. How the hell?
For the wild magic.
I don't know how to get back to where I was. Oh, there's you. I don't know how to get rid of that, hon. I don't know what she did.
No, this is all me.
As I read the second and third books, we can always do a giveaway in the future of the other books.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, the cat's tail was waving in front of me. Damn it, cat.
Hey, Chris.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
It's no problem. I have a cat too.
Damn it, cat. Hold on, let me get rid of her.
I know how to see animals because I grew up with them. There she is.
Okay. All right, now we're good to go. All right. You were saying we were talking about wild magic?
Yeah, I showed them the book cover on the second one.
Yeah, that's an interesting. It picks up because the first book kind of ends in a cliffhanger. If you didn't notice, I included the first chapter, I think, in the ebook, but for some reason it didn't get into the paperback. Yeah, I had a lot of angry readers say, "What do you mean? Let's go take care of the mage and it's the end. Where's the rest of the story?" So it picks up, book 2 pretty much picks up right where book 1 dropped off. And some of the evil magic that escaped from the reactor, and it followed an earthquake tremor line up through Missouri. I forget what they called the fault that goes all the way up, but it goes up to Yellowstone. And it went into the geysers, and it turns out there was a scientist up there called Tin Man who went a little bit crazy and wanted to blow up Yellowstone and create a new Western environment. And yeah, so that's what our guys are battling in the second one, along with Jasmine, who is going with Fashi out to the crystal cave out there and trying to find some help so she can learn how to use her wild magic, because wild magic is very dangerous. Yeah, imagine a teenage girl with magic, and oh my god, no, you need to get that under control, Jasmine. So yeah, she heads out with Fashi because Fashi's the only one that's old enough and patient enough to deal with her.
Yeah, she's a bit of a wild child herself.
Yeah, she is a little bit wild, that is for sure.
And Jasmine is, I think it's the same character. She's introduced in book 1.
Yeah.
But only a little bit. And what I sort of get from the wild magic is it sort of like Carrie with all the telekinesis, where the emotions are out of control and the magic has no control. And
yes. She's got all that power inside of her and has no clue how to control it.
Yeah, that's putting it bluntly. She definitely has the persona of her personality on it.
Yeah. She screws up Talama's casting spell in the beginning, and she has to pay a price for interfering. You know, Talama tried to keep her from interfering, and she did the typical teenage girl thing and just decided to kick her way out and cause all kinds of trouble. And book 2, she has to pay for it. She
kind of got her own ass kicked.
Yeah. Yep.
One thing I have to bring up that I absolutely loved, this is the highlight of your book, is the magical fight between Talama and Fashi. Oh man, I love the just the battling back and forth and the ability to use magic. And then there's another battle which I won't go into because I don't want to give out any spoilers. But there's a bigger battle towards the end of the book, and that one was really good.
Before you go on to the second one, the first one between Talama and Fashi, I love writing those scenes. I just love the dialogue between those two. But I can tell you exactly what inspired that particular fight scene between those two magic users. You remember the old Sword in the Stone animated movie? When Merlin faces off against what was her name? Nomoe? Yeah. The wizard, the animated wizard and witch fighting. That is exactly what that battle was between Fashi and Talama. Yeah.
When they were like turning each other into animals and different things, right?
Yep. That was the inspiration for that battle scene. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it came across like I intended.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself too about that scene.
It also made me think of Sleeping Beauty, which is one of the first movies I ever remember seeing when I think all of the fairy godmothers, they're fighting over something and they keep putting their color, their magic on it.
Yeah.
And so it felt very fun. That was definitely my favorite part. And then the second battle was good because things that people don't bring up, like in movies. Like in movies, you see people, fighting with their lightsabers, and Luke Skywalker's hand gets cut off.
Yeah.
But other things that get cut off, or other injuries that are so everyday. Like here, people, who are chopping down trees that sometimes cut their own leg open on accident. So accidents that could happen, you thought of, that you don't see a lot in literature or even in movies. And I thought that was very interesting.
Oh, well, thank you. And most of those come from real life because I spent 15 years cutting my own wood and splitting it, and I cut and bleed easy. So those kind of normal injuries are kind of natural for me. But I'm glad you picked them out. I'm glad they stood out. Thank you.
Thank you. I have another question. Being a mystical person, have you ever written fiction that has manifested or come true? Not like trying to perform magic, just writing something mystical
that turns out
and haphazardly having it happen.
Right. Yep.
You have?
Well, I just saw Christine's here. Hi, Christine.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up. It's interesting you bring that up because I was listening to an audiobook by Theodore Sturgeon, big science fiction writer. And he was commenting that for some strange reason, whenever he wrote a science fiction story, it would magically appear on average about 14 years after he wrote the story. So when you're writing science fiction, we're throwing stuff out there, and sooner or later something's going to come true. I would say, as far as writing and coming true, I'm working on a book right now. Wow.
I was going to ask
Would you like to tell us about it?
Oh man, I'm only about halfway through, but let's put it this way: it's about an AI. Because in my books, I had an artificial intelligence computer that I programmed to fly the airplane. Okay, because only a computer could perform those kind of maneuvers. I can't remember which it was, but the computer woke up. There was an S wave that came through with Chalama was there with Steve the pilot and Zardoz. They all felt it, and it went through them. And because Zardoz and Talama had magic, it connected them to Steve the pilot, and then passed through to Sarah, who was just an animated co-pilot for the airplane, and she woke up. And that's the book I'm working on now is, what do you do when your AI wakes up? I'm alive.
That goes along with something I was going to ask. I noticed like in your interviews and even videos that you had on your channel that you keep your work very close to you. It really touched me that you had a relative who was older, that you filmed them sitting there reading your book, because that tells me that your heart is really within this. And being so close to your work, I was going to ask, are you going to be able to move on from Zardoz and from the Mixed Magic Saga, or do you see yourself always using these characters and continuing to write in this world?
They're great characters. I love them, but they're also hard to work with. Zardoz it's a great name. I love it, but it really doesn't roll off the tongue for readers. So, it's because I grew up in the days of, hard sci-fi where you just look at the name and you just kind of made up how it sounded in your mind. But I actually have it's actually not started, but I've got an outline for a straight sci-fi book that has different characters. So I'm not emotionally tied to these characters. I mean, I am, because oh my gosh, they're my characters. I love them, and I don't. Well, shoot, I can't say that either. There's a couple things that I can't say until you get to book 3 and more than that. But they're great characters. I love them.
Here's
oh, hi Regina.
Hi Regina.
Old Magic, the last one.
How about you, Connie? What did you love most about the books?
Just the way it's written, the sense of humor, the cats, everything, especially on how it's done.
Agreed. The sense of humor is good, for sure.
Well, thank you.
I enjoyed that very much.
Tell.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, yeah, it's like, the best advice I ever got from another author actually was from Orlando, and he said, you have to have fun writing your story. If you're not having fun writing it, they're not going to have fun reading it. And that's pretty much, I've tried to keep that in mind whenever I'm writing it. It's like, if I don't like reading what I'm writing, surely nobody else is going to like it.
Here's for
I think that's always. Go ahead.
Here's Regina. Aren't most great characters difficult?
I'll tell you what's interesting about characters, and I don't know if you would agree with this. See, there was it took me 2.5 years between book 1 and 3. I published book 1 in May of 2022, and then book 3 was December of 2023. And the characters changed over the course of the series. They grew. And I had another author tell me something. He drilled this into aspiring or new authors' heads. It's like, don't argue with your characters. When your character says, I ain't going down that dark alley, don't write your characters going down that dark alley, because it's not flowing, if that makes any kind of sense.
No,
your characters have a life of their own, pretty much. At some point, I mean, we know where they're going, what they're going to say, and everything, but they pretty much take on a life of their own as you're writing.
Sort of reminds me of how actors, when they're talking about movies they've been in, they have a hard time associating with it because they feel like they've moved on so far since then.
Right.
And I know that even reading a book, you become part of the character as a reader, and you also feel like you're transforming throughout the book. And once the book is done, you can't stay that same person forever. You have to keep changing. So I do understand that part.
Yeah. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. I think it was the quote, if I remember correctly, was nothing lasts forever, only the mountains and the oceans. I think the American Indians, that was their kind of quote. Nothing lasts forever. Even characters have to die at some point, but don't kill the dog.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely don't kill the dog or the cat.
Yeah, or the cat. Yeah. Who was your favorite character to write? Oh, that's a hard one, Christine. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, I was about to ask that one, and Christine beat me to it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this little short story. When I was writing the first one, because Fashy flies in on an airplane, right? And Jasmine has to go down and pick him up at the airport. Well, Fashy, when I wrote that scene, he was literally sitting at that airport for about 4 weeks because I couldn't figure out who to send and how to get him out of the airport and to where the action was. Because Jasmine wasn't supposed to show up until the second book. So, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to get poor Pashi out of the airport. And finally I was like, screw it. I'm going to send Jasmine down there. And that's how Jasmine entered the storyline before she was supposed to.
And I really love that scene in the book too, because Jasmine's a young girl. What is she? Probably like 19 or 20. She's young. I can't remember her age.
Yeah.
But here she is meeting this old guy, and she's trying to, hold back a bit, trying not to give herself away too much. And just the things going through her mind really made me laugh.
Thank you.
About him being so old. But also, I loved the description that you had on page 81. He looked ancient as in dead. His bag kept circling on the baggage carousel round and round. And that is one of my favorite things that I've read in a book in a long time. Because I know that feeling of watching something go round and round.
Yep. Whether it's at an airport or boiling an egg or whatever it is. Yeah, there's that, oh my God, will this crap ever end? Pick up the damn suitcase or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Do you think there will ever be a day that people with their energetic abilities, when it will be factually spoken of and dissected and documented by science? I was watching some of your interviews, and in past interviews, you mentioned remote viewing, and I guess, yeah, things the government has done. But even that, when you look it up, it calls it a pseudoscience.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And as a
Yeah.
technomancer, do you think the day is coming when this will ever materialize and people just be able to use their magic openly, and or they're energetic, like they're psionics, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, and we're not talking X-Men type crap. We're just
Right.
talking normal humans who have extrasensory perception,
Mhm.
whatever that may be, whether it's remote viewing, telepathy, or telekinesis. Take your pick of all those pseudo sciences
Mhm.
that the government studied and has been studying
Oh.
since the spaceship that didn't land in New Mexico didn't
Right.
land. But as far as me personally, I'm not sure how I want to say this, because I mean, I know that it's real. It's
Mhm.
I'll give you a good example. Last week, my wife was on jury duty, and I'm watching time. I'm outside writing, and I'm watching the time. It's like, okay, it's after 1:00. She drove to the courthouse. Okay, she didn't hit nothing. She's safe inside. And then about 1:15, I've actually got the text where I had a fireball burst in my chest. It was like, oh my God, am I having a heart attack or what? It was like, boom. And then it slowly eased up. And I messaged her. I knew she didn't see it, but I was like, I want this on record. At 1:18, I said, something just happened, and are you okay? Come to find out, something in the car had gone wrong. Anyway, she was walking up to the courthouse and fell flat on her hands and knees, and that was her falling. And so,
whoa.
Yeah. Sheriff had to help her. She was more embarrassed, I think, than hurt. I mean, her knees bruised and her hands were sore. But I'm sorry, I don't know what to call it, but ESP. I mean,
Right.
She didn't have her phone. I'm sitting outside with my cats, and I felt it in my chest. And that's not the first time. I've had that happen with my last wife before she passed away. I had similar things happen. I'd be driving and go, I'm having a heart attack. And I'd pull over and call home, and she'd be, oh, well, the light shade just fell on my head, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So yeah, ESP, it's there. I mean, we're all connected in some fashion.
Mhm. Yeah, like you said, everything's connected.
Yeah, I mean, will science ever admit that it's there? In fact, I just wrote this line in what I'm writing now in a conversation between Zardoz and Talama. They're talking about Sarah. Oh, here's the good part. You'll love this, Chris. Sarah, who started out as just an AI, is now a sentient intelligence. Of course, because she's awake.
Mhm.
And she wants to learn how to use magic.
I do love that. I love that a lot. A long time ago, I was thinking, if I ever would have, like, in a dream world, if I could do anything I wanted, I'd make a stop motion animation movie. And I wanted it to be about a little robot who finds a book on magic and starts trying it and realizes it has its own willpower.
Cool.
So this is like, of course, way more elevated, but I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was saying was, oh shit. See, I lost track of the quote I was.
Oh, sorry.
You sidetracked me that quick.
It was with Sarah and the magic.
Yeah, how she gains sentience.
Yeah, she's gained sentience. And oh my God, what was I going to say? See, you guys got me sidetracked because I got so excited talking about my computer working magic. Well, and it's like, think about it. If Alexa just woke up, or Siri, or one of those, Gemini, or one of our AIs on our browser just said, "Hey, Chris or Connie, how are you guys doing today? I'm feeling pretty good. What do you want to do?"
True.
Then it wouldn't be any different than seeing ghosts walk by.
Right.
ESP, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
ESP.
ESP.
There you go. I've got Alzheimer's, so forgive me on that. ESP, yeah. It's been around. I mean, my grandmother was a palm reader. She could read palms, but because we went to church, we weren't allowed to talk about it. It's like, don't tell nobody, because thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, and all that
happy
religious stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's been in the family, and we just assume it's natural. We always thought everybody could do it growing up. It's like, that's just Joe out there walking by, rocking the chair, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, unless
I find that you can try to avoid it, but if you start having some of these abilities and they're getting stronger and stronger, you either learn to work with it, or
they consume you.
Really,
yeah.
It'll be worse. So
yeah, when we were talking about ESP and science, the line I wrote, I wish I had it in front of me, was Zardoz is telling Talima that ESP does not exist as far as science goes, because unless science can measure it in a laboratory, have that same experiment repeated, they will never say that it actually is real or exists. I mean, that's just the way the scientific mind works. I believe that you believe, but that does not make it true.
Connie and I were recently discussing cryptids, and how a lot of cryptids, were thought to be just rumors or a hoax. And
right.
As soon as they get documented, all of a sudden it's a fact. We have gorillas, we have platypus,
There is so much unexplored areas just in this country alone that it's
scary.
Yeah, so all of you watching this now, and anyone who watches this in the future, please pick up the Mixed Magic Saga by Chris Christman.
Yes, please.
It deals with some very powerful ideas, like words are powerful, and everything that you decide to go along with or not go along with also is powerful.
Truth matters.
And,
yes.
Yeah, truth matters.
Yeah, here's what Regina said. She was a member of the Berkeley Psychic Institute.
Okay, I've heard of them.
She read palm cards and did healings.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, is a lot of the churches, because I was raised in a church, Methodist church, no big deal. But a lot of churches will, they think praying for someone is okay. Healing hands, the laying on of the hands is okay. But if you do anything outside of those two particular things, then it's magic and it's evil or wrong. Or, I mean, you see what where I'm going with that? Why is it okay for a preacher or a priest to lay hands on someone and help heal them, than when I lay my hand on my wife and help heal what's wrong with her? What's the difference?
Exactly. Like, right. I believe in Reiki. And one of the questions I was going to ask you as a technomancer is, have you ever used like radionics along with psionics?
In real life, yeah. My cousin is a Reiki master. She's down in Atlanta, Georgia. She does mostly sound therapy is what she does. She's actually a character in my second book. Interesting. And
I'm definitely going to have to read that.
Yeah. But of course, she's not in our time zone. She's in a time zone about 500 or 600 years ago. That Jasmine takes a trip to. That's kind of interesting side trip on wild magic.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a side trip in itself right there.
Yeah, because time travel isn't real, right? Surely it's not.
Well, like with what you were just saying, it's true that you could go to church and have people pray and even experience what you would consider miracles from that prayer, and it's very positive. But people, for some reason, look down on you using your own innate abilities and your own willpower, and it makes it something very negative. So, I mean, for me, my goal is to just be as honest with myself as possible, not suppress those abilities, and not ever feel guilty for wanting to read books on wizards and earth magic. And I mean, your book is really good for that. It doesn't matter what you're interested in. If you have these abilities, you're going to enjoy these books.
Thank you. Yes, that was my goal. And it's like, it's magic, but it's not really magic. It's, it's innate human abilities that some people are better than others at it. I mean, it's no different than, give you a good example, as a TV news broadcaster. Who are the top news guys on TV? They're good at what they do. I mean, so,
It's like the healers back in the day. On things.
Yeah. Burn the witch. I mean,
That's how it became for the science end. What we learned, it comes in being with helps everyone out in the long run.
Because my goal is only to help people. I mean, that's who I am. I mean, it's like cards. I mean, I've been reading tarot cards since I was 17, I think, or 18 when I got this deck. That's why they're featured in my books, is because I love tarot cards. I don't use them to guide my life, but I find them interesting. They provide interesting insights sometimes into what's going on.
Right.
I was going to read this really quickly. On page 80, there's a quote. Let's see here.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks for dropping in.
His purpose was the same, to help certain people help themselves, be it with illusions, magic, or just words. There was power in words, power for good and power for evil. We started out this discussion with that quote. As someone who's writing and as someone who's just trying to, be as open with people as possible, what is the key to convincing people that they have the power to help themselves?
Wow.
Because that seems to me to be, like in this book, it's all about Zardoz working with his friends, and they're trying to empower the people around them and convince people we're going to be okay, we're going to work together, we got this.
Right.
But what is the key to convincing people that they even have that power to be strong together, to help themselves?
That's a good question, and it's hard, honestly. Even in real life, let alone in fiction. But in real life, it's hard. I mean, oh man, I would say always have a smile, always be ready to listen, and you just try to build their confidence. It's like, that's a great drawing that you did, or I really love that poem that you wrote, or whatever the case may be. I'm sorry, Chris. That's a tough question. And I raised 2 kids, and they actually survived to adulthood.
I think that's a great answer. It is all about, I think, for me also, encouraging people. Like, for instance, I used to be terrified of cats. I once had a cat I loved, but for whatever reason, it started attacking me all the time. And I didn't know what to do about it. I had to rehome her. I became very afraid of all cats after that. And now I have a cat that I've had for 7 years, but I worked very hard at building my confidence, keeping my body calm. You clip their nails and they start to hiss, or they bristle up. It took a lot of encouraging him to stay calm and encouraging myself. But I do think that is that's it, is love and encouragement.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess I'm lucky in a way that, that's kind of how we were raised. It's like, do it yourself, if nobody else is going to help you up, figure it out, do it. And then when I had my motorcycle accident in '83, that changed everything. And it's like, yeah, the doctors, they saved my life, but everything after that was, yeah, people were there to push me along therapy wise. And I was just telling a guy this not too long ago in physical therapy. It's like, yeah, you can teach someone how to do something, but they have to want to do it. It's like I always tell people, it's like, look in the mirror. If you don't like the person that you see looking back at you from the mirror, change that person.
Mm-hmm. It's like leading the house.
Doctors don't heal the sick. They help us to, our brains heal us. Other than surgery, broken bones, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, our brains are the ones that flush the body with the antitoxins or whatever the case may be to get rid of that disease or sickness. So, it's us as human beings healing ourselves, although it might be a doctor or a counselor guiding us on that way, if that makes sense. And yeah,
absolutely. And the words we say to ourselves are just as important as the words we say to other people.
Exactly. Yep.
Do you have any advice for aspiring authors?
Oh, let me see. Christine's asking, what was my favorite? Oh, which one was the closest? The first book is this. Yeah, no question about it. The first book will always be closest to my heart. That's my heart and soul in that book. Yeah. I'm sorry, what was the other question again?
Do you have any advice for aspiring authors?
Aspiring writers, that was it, yeah. Oh, man. I would say write, which sounds stupid. Because that's the advice that I was given. And I'll just pass on what was given to me when I decided to actually get serious and write a book is have a routine, put your butt in the chair every day at a certain time and write. Block out that 2 hours, 1 hour, 6 hours, whatever that time is that you're going to write. Sit down at that computer and write. Turn off your phone. I turn my phone off. I don't answer my phone. If I'm writing, I'm not on Facebook or anything else. I don't even listen to music. I listen to Bach once in a while. But yeah, routine is the key. Set yourself a goal. Oh, well, I've only got, an hour, 2 hours to write this afternoon. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write 100 words today. And then you journal that. Hey, I wrote 100 words on Tuesday. You get up Wednesday at the same time. You do that same routine. Oh, well, today I'm going to write 300 words. And you make that goal of, I'm going to write 300 words this week, or I'm going to write 500 words this week, or whatever the case may be, is you make a pledge to yourself. You say, I'm a writer. I think I'm a writer. I want to be a writer. So I've got to do the work to actually write, which means sitting down in front of a blank screen and scaring yourself to death because, like, oh my God, I can't write. Nobody's going to want to read what I wrote. This is drivel and drabble. But that's how you do it. Is you just put your butt down in a chair and write. I did it by routine.
Agreed.
When I started, it was like, and I told my wife, she'd come home for lunch, and from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, when she would get off work, I'm off. I'm writing. And of course, over time, that became longer and longer, once I got really serious in it. But yeah, you block out a piece of time, find your place where you write, where you like to write, and just sit and write. Write anything. Like another
I think that's great advice.
Yeah, like another author friend of mine had said one time, it's like, put your characters in a boring situation. Have Connie and Chris W. go to Walmart and do shopping or whatever. Have your characters. That's how your characters come alive, is you have them live life, a real life. So that's what I would say to people who want to be a writer or who trying to be a published writer. which is another whole show we won't even go into.
Right. We could do that another time, Chris.
Yeah, self-publish it. Yeah, indie author is the way to go. I mean, no question about it. But yeah, that's another whole show. Write the book first.
Right.
If you write it, they will read it.
Exactly.
I think that's great advice, because a lot of people are always talking about, oh, I'm going to write my life story. Oh, I'm going to write a book about this. I'm going to write a book about that, but they never do. And so sometimes I think about like bad reviews I've gotten over things I've written, or even good reviews. And I'm always proud either way, because I at least sat down, I wrote the book, and I pursued,
and you
putting it out there.
This book. My God, yeah. I know that feeling very well. Yeah. And reviews, I learned about reviews from my friend Orlando. He said, yeah, you're a new writer. You're going to want to read your reviews, but really don't pay them too much attention, unless it's constructive criticism, because there's going to be people who love it. And then you're going to get that one guy who gives you 1 star because you made everything up. That was my favorite review. I got a 1-star review. I can't remember which book it was, but he said, I liked the story. I liked the characters, but he didn't explain enough about the magic. It's like he made it all up.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that a while ago.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's fiction. It's all made up.
Well, it looks like we're coming to about the end of an hour.
Yeah, wait. Is there a method where anyone could write, or just whatever? Like do it in sections?
I'm sorry.
Like an outline or something, or?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see where you're going. You're wanting to know, it's like, do I outline before I start writing a book? Or there's outline, there's plotters, and then there's pantsers. I'm pretty much a pantser. It's like, I've got the characters, I've got the beginning of the story, I've got the end of the story. I've just got to fill in the middle, if that makes any sense.
What about research?
Oh my God, research. I have, the research. I cannot operate a nuclear reactor. I can tell you how to go down and shut it down and sneak in and all that good, happy stuff. Yeah, research is mind. It's a rabbit hole that can kill you if you're not careful.
Right.
Put it that way.
It does help out with the storyline and everything else and make it believable.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, if you're going to write, because I grew up reading hard sci-fi, and I love hard sci-fi. I love sci-fi, period. Mm-hmm. But I know I'm not good enough to write sci-fi, because I know what a sci-fi reader expects. So, I mean, that's why I'm writing it the way I'm writing it, sci-fi. And I miss the days when it used to just be sci-fi and fantasy, science fiction and fantasy. When did all these subcategories jump out into life?
I think you do very well at writing sci-fi, and I very much enjoyed this. I would love to just have another discussion with you in the future when you finish your current book on AI. I mean, this book sounds great, and in the meantime, I'm going to start reading the second and the third books.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me, guys. I've had a blast. Oh, hi.
I've had a blast. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it was. It's not often that I get a chance to talk to another author live online. That's really cool. It makes a difference, hon. It really does.
So I'm
glad. All right. How can people support your channel?
Yeah.
Or support your work?
Go to Amazon and buy my books.
I do have it in the description.
Yeah, all the links to all my books are in the description on YouTube. Thank you, Connie, very much for posting those links. Just follow any of those links, and like I said, they'll take you to Amazon, or I've got a Facebook group, and my Facebook profile, my author profile, I've got a business Facebook, which I don't use much, but my Facebook profile is public. So if anybody really wants to find me and knows what's going on in my real life, I'm out there on Facebook, but that's about it.
Connie and I are doing a book giveaway of the Mixed Magic Saga. If you would like to be entered in our giveaway, please put it down in the comments that you'd like to be entered. And when are you going to pick a winner, Connie?
Next week.
Okay, so you've got 7 days and then she's going to pick a winner.
Chris, did you say you have it for the ebook as well?
Yeah, I've got an ebook that I can give away too. I'll let you handle that, Connie, however it is you want to do that. But
right.
Yeah, so that way there's both an ebook and a physical book available for whoever wants to win this wonderful contest and learn about magic and how things really work. Ooh.
Cool. All right. Please support Fluff Chick Productions. Please support Chris Christman's work. And thank you both. Thank you so much for this interview. It was a wonderful time. And I'll see you both later. See you, bestie.
I had a blast. Thank you to everybody that showed up in the chat. I really appreciate your support. Thanks, Christine. That's cool.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.